Hello. Hello. It feels so weird right now. It feels so weird streaming when I haven't done it for like 4 days. Hello. Honestly, didn't feel like doing anything today, but I'm just like, you know what? Let's get something started, because you did a lot of nothing over the weekend. Or not even the weekend. Over the week. You did nothing over the week. So we gotta get something done. Maybe. Honestly, don't know. Do I really want to do something? Not really, but at the same time I know if I don't do anything soon, I'm just gonna be in a huge loop of like, I don't feel like doing much. And just be lazy. And eventually just actually do nothing for like a week or two. So I'm like, okay, time to get back into the swing of things. Because, like, one thing that I could have done is do the time lapse for Unown letter I, but I haven't gotten to that yet, mainly because the time I would have gotten to it, I would have to already leave to go to Florida. Wee. And Florida was okay, I guess. Wow. There were a lot of relatives that I didn't recognize. I was like, hi, strangers. Hello, people I haven't seen in, like, years. Like, last time like, the few people that I remembered, last time I saw them, they were, like, teens. And now, like, a few of them are in their 20s, and I'm just like, just, yeah. It was interesting. Personally, I don't know how to feel about that. And also, I was gonna do some stitching while I was there, but I lost the needle. So, yay! I lost my needle. So that was fun. The place we stayed at's gonna have an extra needle there, just in case someone needs to sew their outfits or something. Like if they get a tear in something. Or if it's another fellow cross-stitcher, there you can have another needle where it's just like, hey, surprise! But yeah, I honestly don't know where it got to, so that's fun. But I, like, really should have brought a few more needles, just in case I did lose it, but I was very confident that I wouldn't, and I'm a fool because of that now. So always bring some extra needles, because you never know when you're going to lose them. But yeah. Wunderbar. Wunderbar. I was starting to get sucked back into YouTube Shorts as well, but I'm just like, I need to not do that, please and thank you. No thanks, I'm good. am very much good and do not need to be sucked back into that little area of YouTube. But to be fair, there wasn't really anything interesting to watch. And aside from like a few people's reactions to the new Ruin DLC, it's like, nothing really much. YouTube still is recommending me like the League of Legends, like this person doing League of Legends builds and running them with different characters, and it's like, oh cool. I don't understand any of this, but okay. And then he constantly flames his team, and I'm like, okay, I don't like this. Like, you might be smart with the builds that you do, but I don't like how you're just berating your team, even if they do deserve it. At the same time, it's sort of like, eesh. Like, just eesh. Because most of the time, the teammates aren't even throwing, and he's throwing a hissy fit, basically being like, they're throwing and doing this and should be making this play, and it's like, well, you're not them. You don't know exactly what's going on. Because most of the time, he just sees the notification that they died, and he's not even saying how they died. Just a thing of like, oh, well, you should have just not pushed up, you idiot. And it's like, well, maybe they didn't even push up. Maybe it's the enemy team pushing up on them and ganking them everywhere. And it's just like, dude, calm down. See? You know, like, I don't like when people flame each other for something that's just like, sometimes it's out of their control. Don't start saying stuff and trying to berate a person if you don't even know the full story. Yeah. But I also just feel in a weird zone of just like, again, not really wanting to do anything, but also just being like, I feel relaxed, weirdly. The whole trip, though, I was bored. And I found a shiny Shroomish on Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, so I was working a little bit on the route quest. So I got that done. I still had to find another Shroomish, but at the same time, I didn't actually see the sparkles, because the thing was, I closed my eyes, and I was like, you know what, the shiny's gonna appear right now because I have my eyes closed. And what do you know? I heard the shiny sparkles, and I'm like, god frickin' dang it. Like, really? You show up right when I predicted that it's gonna show up when I have my eyes closed. Thanks. I love it here. But yeah. I also already came up with the recording / streaming schedule that I will, or like things I'm going to be doing. And I was thinking of doing some shiny hunting, but at the same time I'm just like, I honestly don't know what I want to shiny hunt. Like, I love Gen 5 Pokemon. God freaking dang it. I love the Gen 5 Pokemon, and like, I'm just now realizing more and more that it actually is my favorite generation. Because I'm like, I love all the designs, and I want to shiny hunt all the Gen 5 Pokemon. But it became a problem of, which one do I want to hunt, and which generation? Do I want to do it in Gen 5? Like, do I want to do a full odds hunt in Gen 5? Or, like, what do I want to do? Because honestly, I have no clue still. And so, you know what I did? I just decided not to add any shiny hunting for now. Because I'm like, you know what? I'm already have my plate full with the Coloring Pixels game for the second book. And the trilogy thing. And cross-stitch. Well, not really these. Because part of my brain was also being like, I could do J and K all today. Because the trip has also made me realize, like, how much time I just spend lounging around and just being like, oh, there's nothing happening. And when I'm here, I'm just like, yeah, no, I have a lot here to do. Like, count the blessings. Instead of being like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. That's something else that I'm extremely bummed about, that I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Is one of the coloring games. Like, I'm gonna redoing them all again. But the ginormous piece with the skeletons, yeah, that... Apparently I didn't upload that to YouTube, and I don't have a copy of it. So, yay! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm gonna have to redo that again. And that took multiple days to do. And I'm just sitting here like, well, that, yep, that, like, I did that. I did it. I made mistakes. Mainly because I thought I had already uploaded it to the main channel, but nope, I uploaded it somewhere else, and that channel's deleted now, forever. If I knew that, I wouldn't have deleted. I would have at least downloaded the video, and then uploaded it to the main channel, and then been like, okay, now I can delete this channel. But no, I thought I uploaded it to the main channel, too. But no. I'm an idiot. You are an idiot. Ha 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 ha. You are an idiot. Ha 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 ha. But I mean, to be fair, it honestly does not matter much, just because it's like, well, it gives me more to do on stream. Like, I can redo all this on stream and mosey on my happy way. On my merry, merry, happy way. Merrily, 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 down the content stream. So, yeah. We'll be redoing it all soon. I just have to schedule or like figure out when it is that I want to do it, because it would be a huge commitment to do some of the things, and also a different coloring game, because there were at least like 300 different images for the pet section or the animals, and I'm just like, oh boy, this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. But I am multiple days ahead of schedule of what I should really be doing for YouTube, so I'm just like, you know what, we're just gonna continue manufacturing these schedules, being like, hey, here's what we're gonna be doing on stream and on YouTube. Like, whoop whoop whoop, here you go, thank you ma'am, womp womp. And just keep on going. We're just gonna keep on going and being happy with what we are doing. But yeah. And honestly, just, yeah. At this point, I'm just flat out gonna keep doing things that I enjoy. And we will, I don't know, we'll move forward in life with whatever the heck we choose to do. And And something that I might be doing sometime soon, once I get all of this batch of videos done, is taking another gander at minecraftmaps.com, looking at a few maps because someone has wanted me to play a few more of their maps, so I'm gonna check those maps out, play them, and be like, hi, these were neat, or whatever the heck I feel like doing. And then we are just gonna, we're just gonna keep scheduling, keep doing things, and yeah. And realistically, I could do everything that I put on the schedule today. Well, not put on the schedule for today, but put everything that I made scheduled to get done. I could do them all today. Quickly get J and K done. We can then go to coloring pixels, do that. And then start the playthrough of the puzzle game that I put on the list. I don't remember what it's called. I do apologize. But it's a trilogy thing. So yee. Also, I just didn't really want to do any shiny hunts for a little bit just because they might take a while, and I'm like, I wanna get a good amount of, get back started on the content grind and have many videos in advance so that it's not constantly being like, okay, I got everything else done, now it's just the shiny hunt, and the shiny hunt's gonna take forever because it's either gonna be like in the first 100 encounters or it's gonna take like 10,000, and yeah. I'm like, let's get some more things done before we do another one of those commitments. Which, honestly, Shiny Purloin was still a huge surprise for me, because I was not expecting it to get at, I believe, 1179? Or, no, 1197. I did not expect to get it at that many encounters, but, I mean, I'm not complaining. And Pokemon Sword and Shield, that is. Not in Pokemon Black and White. If it was Black and White, I would have actually freaked out a lot more, because that is severely under odds. But, yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows what I will be shiny hunting next? Because, literally, if I haven't already gotten it, everything's on the table. Except for the ones that are shiny locked. But aside from that, it's like there are so many Pokemon to hunt for. And so many games to hunt in. Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon White, Pokemon Black 2, Pokemon Platinum, Soul Silver, Shining Pearl, Violet, and just a few other games, especially fan games too. Even though I'm not really liking the color quality of Pokemon Sweet version on the thing that I'm using, but at the same time, it's like, it is also an option. And another thing that I can do too is, not Pokemon, Temtem. Some Temtem Luma hunting. Literally everything and anything is an option for me. It is available. Of course, not a lot of people have heard of that thing because they keep going for the wrong people. But I mean, hey, if you want to go for someone that's not available, I guess go ahead. Just don't get your hopes up that they're going to miraculously become available. But yeah, we're just gonna see how we're feeling today and how long I want to go. Because again, I literally can do all of it today. And now what? If I finish J, the next thing I'll do is probably coloring pixels or the trilogy again. What is it? Don't Escape? Is that what it's called? I'm gonna quickly look at it. Don't Escape Trilogy, yes. Start the Don't Escape Trilogy, maybe. One of the two. That way I'm giving my back a rest from the stitch decks and from cross-stitching, and then when I feel like doing it again, I can pick up the letter K, and we can get that done, and then do the other thing that we have left. And then when that's done, we can make a completely new list. And we have, like, what? If I smash the trilogy all into one video, it's 4 different videos. But I do feel like we're going to be doing it in parts. Because if it's a trilogy, I'm assuming there's, like, a friend got it for me, and it's pretty much the first through 3rd games, and then the 4th game is a completely separate game from it, and it's just like, yeah. So we got all those. Da, da, da. Yeah, pretty much already almost done with the outline of Unown. So, survey says we can get this done quickly and then we can do something else. And something that I did try doing earlier was the FNAF Security Breach DLC playthrough, but it was running at a slideshow pace that I was just like, yeah, no, this is not worth it. I'm sorry, but just no. I'm sorry, but just no. So I played it all on my own time. And it was interesting to say the least. Very, very interesting. Ba 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 da bum. Ha da 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 da. Da 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 da. Something else that could be interesting one day is if I was to ever get my hands on one, is like, actually no, it wouldn't be interesting, but it would just open the door for way more options for like games and shiny hunts, is if I was able to find a 3DS capture card. But I know those are very expensive. They are so pricey. it's just like, ooh, yeah, would it be worth it? Because at first I thought I did get a 3DS capture card that would allow me to do all DS and 3DS games, but no, it was just a DS. But I'm like, you know what? It's whatever. It was whatever. Because I would not complain so long as it captured something. So, yeah. We got that. And... just, yeah. I don't know. Like, part of me also feels like, even though I'm, like, I don't really like restarting things over and over again, it's sort of like, maybe I could do, like, challenge runs again, or at least just consider them. Because when I was trying to do the Done Sports Only run on Pokemon Violet, I immediately was just like, yeah, no, I'm not enjoying this. And if I feel that way again with any of the games, I'll just be like, okay, I understand this. Like, I literally just, this is not fun for me. And to be fair, I should have actually seen that coming, because it's sort of the same philosophy I go with cross-stitching things, or like making anything, is I don't like making things again. I only like making things once. Once it's done, it is off my list. And that is it. I do not care to make another one of it. Why I'm like, I would never do commissions. Because I feel like some people would be like, hey, I saw that you did like a Litwick sprite the other day. Can you make one for me? And I'll just stare at them and be like, no. Like, I don't like remaking things over and over again. Like, the most I will do with remaking things is like the some of the Pokemon sprites that are pretty much the exact same but in a different color palette. Like, I'll do it for that because it's like, it technically is different. Sure, the sprite might not look like it, but there is a difference because the official colors in this game is different than the official colors in the other game. So that's really the only reason why I would redo a sprite, is because if there is a color difference. Otherwise, I'm just going to be like, hey, I've already done it. I'm not going to do it again. I'm sorry, but just no. Just no. Yeah? Just no. Because it's not what I enjoy. Like, there just needs to be a clear difference with stuff, and if there's not a clear difference with it, then I'm not doing it. So right now I am playing with Fate, doing Thread Chicken. But I have won the game. Won this Thread Chicken. I say as I still have 2 more stitches to do, and I'm not actually very certain. But now I am certain, because I have finished it. Haha! I've not finished the sprite. I wish. I wish it was that quick. At times, sometimes cross-stitching, it's like, you wish the piece would go by faster, but then other times when it goes by too fast, you're like, I actually want to enjoy it a little bit more. But yeah. It's also another thing that I'm just like, if I had more time, I would probably learn it. Or like feel like it wouldn't, not that it would be a waste of time, but just being like, hi, I don't know when I would actually be able to commit to this. But like learning different embroidery arts, like actual embroidery, well, not embroidery arts, fiber arts, like crocheting, knitting, embroidery, being like, hi, I can do all these things. But right now I'm just like, yeah, that sort of stuff is just cross stitching for me. Because I really don't know when I would be able to fit other things in my crafty schedule and feel like I am accomplishing a lot. Because the moment I open the door for a different thing, I'm like, oh boy, I am opening the doors up to many more crafts that might result in me feeling burnt out and overwhelmed because I only have so much time. And sometimes not enough space for everything. So yay! Hooray! Oh. But yeah, for now, my options are essentially a lot of Pokemon. That's what most of my options are. They're Pokemon, and I do not complain about it because I enjoy Pokemon. I like Pokemon. Pokemon is life. Pokemon is forever. Wow. Oh. Of course, it's a thing of like, I'm not too obsessed with Pokemon. I just like it because there's a lot of different styles, I guess. It gives me a reason to stitch. That's really the reason why I like it. Because here's the thing. A lot of time, like most of my life, I've never really been excited for anything. I've just been like, oh, cool, nice. Like just me. Like, there's not really anything I would actually get excited about. Because I'm just like, I don't really look forward to anything. Like, live concerts? No, not really. I don't really care for live music. I don't like live music, if being honest. I literally don't. They're just like it doesn't sound as good as it does online kind of thing. Like, I like the polished kind of version. I would rather not go to an event if, like, there's technical, like, and that's the thing, like, I know it would probably happen is, like, technical issues, or, like, things get canceled, and a person's just like, yeah, I'm not actually feeling it that day, or whatever the heck. Or, like, it's not even them singing most of the time, it's just them vibing on the stage. I'm just like, yeah, no, this is not what I paid for. Like, I literally just do not care for live music or live events. Like, that's why I like Twitch. This is the only live stuff that I like. Otherwise, I don't like going to in-person live stuff because it's just like, it's lackluster and you have to travel all the way through, and then it's like you don't know about weather. And if the weather's bad, you're gonna have a miserable time there. And if something happens to the person you're there to see, it's then like, well, the event's canceled and I traveled all the way over here just to see them and they're not even here anymore. So it's just like, ugh. Ugh. But if anybody actually does like live events, then more power to you. I just personally don't. Because it's, ugh. And that's also the same way I feel about traveling. I just don't see a point in it. Like, sure, it would be fun and nice to go to other places and either, like, experience their cultures or, like, see what it's like in different places. But for me, I'm just like, why? Like, huh? No, thank you. Like, everything I need and would want is near me. Like, I have no ambition to travel anywhere because, to me, that's just seems like not a nuisance, just doesn't seem, just seems weird. Because in my mind, it's like going to a place that I don't even speak the language of going to somewhere where I would have no clue as to why I'm there, and acting like an annoying tourist to a lot of the locals that are there. Like, I don't really want to do that. And then it's also another thing of like, when trying to figure out food, if most of the food I don't like if I try a lot of the food there and I don't end up liking it, I'm then just gonna sit there being like, what do I do? Because then it would be the issue of trying to find a place that is familiar to me, but at the same time, it's like, well, if I'm really just gonna go to, say, like, Spain, for example, and I'm not enjoying any of the food, and then I just end up going to a McDonald's for every meal, at that point forward, it's like, why did I decide to travel? Because, like, if I literally just went there and the only thing I can think of was eating McDonald's, I'll just be like, well, I essentially just spent, like, this amount of money on a plane ticket just to have McDonald's. Like, I just, yeah, no, thank you. I am perfectly fine with where I am. The only time I would ever want to travel is when I move and find a new place to reside. That is it. Going anywhere else, I'm like, I have no ambition to do so, because there is literally no point. I would say, like, I guess the only time I would ever, like, go and visit a place is, say, like, where TwitchCon is being hosted, at least once, just to see if I even like it. And if I didn't like it the one time I went, then I'm just gonna be like, okay, I know what I don't like. Either that, or I'll just suck it up and be like, no, I'm gonna just do it so that I can meet up with friends. But other than that, I'm like, nobody's gonna go that I know. No, I'm not gonna go. Like, sorry, no. Like, no, just, no, thank you. There's just no reason to travel anywhere. Personally, I find traveling stinks. It sucks. Because it's also a thing of, like, car rides or planes. It's just like, ugh. sitting in a place, like sitting in one place while in a moving vehicle and pretty much not having anything to do. It's boring. It sucks. I don't like it. Like, if somebody was to come towards me and it's like, I can show you the world, I'll just slam the door in their face and be like, I do not care about that. Like, I'm sorry, but just no. Just no. Again, I have no ambition of seeing this world. Because it's also another thing of, like, for what is shown on the internet and what a lot of people want to see, it's also like, yeah, like, a lot of those things are fake. Not that the places are fake, but just how they are shown. Or, like, the real high points that it's like, oh, like, for example, oh, France has the Mona Lisa, we should definitely go there to see it. And then it's like, yeah, the Mona Lisa, like, is always in COVID restrictions, where it is 10 feet away from you. 10, like, I would say 10 to, like, 15 feet away from you. Barely viewable, and you only get 20 seconds to see it. If even 20 seconds. It was more like, the moment you enter the room, there were guards telling you, go, 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 move, 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 rush, rush, rush. You got to see it, you done. Go away, like, we need other people to see it. And it's just like, well, okay. Like, god dang. Like, sure, it's a nice piece, but at the same time, it's like, okay. Entering the room, it was like, okay, this painting feels overrated for the treatment that it is sort of given. Where not... Like, if you are going there to do art appreciation in France, do not go to the Mona Lisa. The only thing you are appreciating is like a few pixels, if anything. If you don't have perfect vision, do not go see the Mona Lisa. It is not worth it. Because at that point, you might as well pick up new prescription glasses to even make out the nose. Or even an eye. Because otherwise... you're not seeing it. It is not viewable. And honestly, another thing I would say, like, just with the New York, not the New York trip, with the France trip, if you want to go to France but on a budget, just go to New York. That's the best way I can describe what France felt like. It felt like New York, but smelt nicer. That's literally how France was. That's how Paris was. It was just that. New York, but smelt nicer. And more of a French aesthetic. Other than that... well, that, and there were a lot of naked statues. And more vulgar things, like, just, yeah. Otherwise, if you are not a big fan of... hold on, I have to sneeze. If you're not a big fan of being rushed, if you're not a big fan of New York, if you're not a big fan of, like, seeing a few vulgar things, then France is not the place for you. I'm sorry, just no. But yeah, just literally, I have no ambition to go anywhere. And don't really know where I would even want to go at this point. Like, the only places I can think of now is, like, just going to places that are spooky. Like, haunted places. That literally, I'm just like, okay, I'll just go to a place just because it's haunted. That's it. At rich culture, I don't care. You get to do all these things that you can't do at home. I do not care. Ghost hunting a haunted, like, lighthouse? Sure. Ghost hunting in an asylum? Sure. I'll do it. I'll go into the paranormal side of things. But if it's literally like, oh, you can come here, enjoy the food, and I'm like, I do not care. Like, I am someone that's like, if I had a choice, like, if I was to be reborn, and I had a choice of not needing something, I would say I would not, no food. I wouldn't want food. I wouldn't, like, give me the ability to not need to eat or drink, and I will be good. Like, I am completely fine with giving up food and drinks. Being like, hey, it is not, like, but more so make it be like, I can still eat and drink if I want to, but I don't need it to survive. Cause I could care less about food and drinks. I really, at this point, just eat and drink just because it's like, hey, it's necessary for you to live. And I'm like, ugh. But do I have to? Because I seriously could care less. Because here's the thing. I literally just eat food at this point and not care about the flavor or, like, stuff like that. Like, of course, I sometimes do still care about the flavor because at least I want to not have, like, a disgusting experience being like, yeah, I know I said I don't care about food, but I at least want it to go down easily. Like, sorry, but... I was going to say I don't care about texture, but I very much care about texture. I do not like certain things. So yeah, I'm just like, ugh. But yeah. If I could, and it was an option, I would be like, no food and drinks. I do not care. Like, make my body not have to depend on that stuff. Because again, I could care less. Yeah. Because, again, I just don't really find any food enjoyable to eat. Because the main reason why is just because most of my life I tried, pretty much, not tried, but it's like, when you have younger siblings, and it gets put up to a vote of where we should go eat, the oldest does not really get a say, or really get what they want when it comes to food at times. Cause, yeah, like, I would constantly be overruled on the vote. And even sometimes, whenever it was between two options, and a few of us actually agreed together of being like, yeah, let's go to this place. The options were then suddenly swapped to being like, okay, then what about this and this? And eliminated the option that we all agreed with, being like, what? Why? Now it's two options that I don't like, but it's options that all three of the others like. Like, excuse me? So at that point, I'm just like, no, I'm not voting. I do not care at this point because you kept, like, they kept eliminating options that either that I liked or my vote just flat out didn't count because it was always a 3 against 1. So at that point I was just like, no, I do not care anymore. Like, I'm sorry, but just no. If you're gonna constantly swap it up and make it seem like it's always not in my favor, like, and the thing is I'm not saying it should have always been in my favor, but at the same time it's like, at least let me have a choice at times, like, and not make it always, yeah, no, you've been overruled, sorry, you don't get to get what you actually like. It was always the thing of like, hi, here, have this, like, sorry you didn't get what you wanted, but at the same time, it was a fair vote, and I'm just staring, like, just always mentally thinking, it was not a fair vote. Mainly because you kept swapping the options around. And when we voted on one thing, and it was stuff that I actually liked, the things then just got rearranged. And then the thing that we voted on was no longer an option. So I was just like, really? Like, really? Like, at this point, I'm just like, I seriously do not care. Like, I want no part in choices with the family because, yeah, I just flat out do not care. Nor like any of the choices that they make because most of the food that they choose is disgusting. Or they say that they're gonna start things and then it never gets started. And so it's constantly waiting around of like either one of two things. Waiting till they actually do what they say, or waiting when they say that they're gonna do it again. And then repeat the cycle of, guess what's gonna happen? Is it either they're gonna say they're gonna start doing it now once again, or are they gonna actually do it? And if you voted the second option, you are a winner. Because, yeah, that's literally what it's mostly been. I'm just like, ugh. And, yeah, I guess that's also just another reason why I'm like, one thing that I want to do is actually cook more, but at the same time, I don't want to cook. And it's more of a thing of like, I want to cook more for myself. I don't want to cook for the family. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. Because the thing is, my brain is seeing it as, it's another responsibility you have to do. And then I look at everybody else's responsibilities, and I'm just like, yeah, they barely have any. Like, that's gonna be another thing that I put on to myself. Or that is gonna be expected of me soon, so I'm just like, yeah, no. Like, I do not care. Like, I want to cook for myself. I don't want to cook for others. I'm sorry, just no. Because it's also another thing of, like, I would be cooking stuff that I personally want. I'm not going to give a single care if it's not what anybody else likes. I'm like, too bad. Like, either eat what I made, or you're just going to go hungry. Like, I do not care. If you don't like it, more for me then. I'll have leftovers. Cool, thanks. Come again. Because otherwise, it's like, if you don't like it, zip it up and either fix something yourself or order something. Because I am not going to do anything about it. And if you have any complaints, then suggest something and we'll think about it. Otherwise, it's gonna just be like, hi, it's pending, or you can make it yourself. Like, I am not a personal chef. Everybody has the skills and ability to cook for themselves and clean up after themselves and do pretty much every basic human thing after themselves. But yeah. And at this point, I'm just like, I do not care what state the house gets into or what is happening to everybody at this point, because I'm just like, I've lost all sense of care in the world. Which sort of results to everybody in the world now. I'm just like, I frankly do not care what is happening towards people or towards something or towards anyone, because I'm just like, I'm just done with caring. I am just done. I do not care. The only things that I really am just wanting to do now is just literally get things done and showcase them off. Other than that, I'm just like, cool. What do you want me to say? And if anybody comes to me and is like, that is an ignorant mindset to have, not caring about what's happening in the world and da-da-da-da-da-da, I literally feel numb to everything, if being honest. Feel numb to the world's problems and all that, because I went through school, and middle school was interesting. Look, a silver, hi, Mint! But yeah, I just feel completely numb to everything and do not care what's happening in the world anymore. Because when I grew up, I constantly had to be afraid of, like, gun threats, bomb, threats, that sort of stuff. People pretty much threatening my life. Not directly, but being like, hi, your school is currently rigged with a bomb. Hi, there is currently an active shooter nearby your school. Hey, there is an actual murderer walking in your school. So I'm just like, cool, I don't care what's happening in the world anymore. I've experienced my share of things. Like, just, hacks go burr. But yeah, at this point I'm just like, I seriously do not give a crap of what's happening in the world anymore. And why a lot of times I'm just like, when someone tells me something bad and they're like, oh yeah, this just happened, or da-da-da-da-da, my main reaction is just like, how do I even respond? Like, that's my main reaction, and I'm just like, I just gotta be happy. Not be happy to be like, oh, don't worry, everything is gonna be alright. This happened to your family, aw, cupcakes, rainbows, and sunshines. To you, then. It's more of just a reaction of like, I don't know what to tell you. But I don't want to outright say, I do not care. Because that is not nice. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, like, why are you telling me this? But yeah, how are you doing, Mint? I hope you're having a great amazing day. But yeah, I'm just completely emotionally checked out to reality. Just being like, honestly, people are dumb, and I don't wanna even look at it anymore. Because even, like, a lot of serious issues, I just stare at it, and I'm like, we wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for some idiots. Like, that's really what it boils down to. It's somebody decided to make an idiotic move, then made it everybody's problem, and now people are getting heated about it because one person decided to make unnecessary drama with something. And it's just like, why? Just, Why did you decide to do this? And why did you bring everybody into it? We don't need this. It's all dumb. But yeah, I'm just flat out in the mindset of like, I'm just gonna like yeah, like, I'm gonna treat people like people. Doesn't matter what they are or who they are, I'm just gonna be like, hi, you're a person. I'm gonna treat you nicely. It does not matter what you associate by, it does not matter what you think yourself as. So long as you're not negative or trying to drag, like, me or other people into unnecessary trouble, like, cool, welcome on in. If you try to drag us into troubles, I'm just gonna be like, snip, bye. Nope. Do not care. Because we do not care. Well, I mean, we should care, but here on Twitch, it's like, I frankly do not want to discuss politics because it will go down a rabbit hole and people are going to be divided, and it's just going to be a silly thing of like, well, one side sucks and the other side sucks too. Like, this side is good for these, like, 3 reasons, and the other side is good for these 2 reasons. But everything else, bleh. Why I'm always just like, I like choosing middle ground. I like being neutral. Why? Because it's not an actual choice, and I don't want to get it stuck in drama. The moment you try to get me stuck in drama is the day I remove you as someone I talk to. Because otherwise, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, no thank you. No thanks. No thank you. No. Because also, I was in Florida for the past 4 days. Yeah, that's made me realize I just don't like talking to people. Really opened my eyes to being like, why don't I ever feel close to people? Or why don't I talk to, like, people on a regular basis? And then I realized, I just don't like doing it. And it's not me being like, oh, he's antisocial and all that. It might as well be me being antisocial because I don't want to be sociable with people. Like, I flat out do not care to talk to others. Because my thing is, if I talk to someone, it is because I have a reason to. Otherwise, if you try coming to me and talking, I'm just gonna be silent and listen. That is all I'm gonna do. Oh crap, I am marking the wrong things. But like, that's literally all I will do. I'll just sit still and be quiet and let the person do the talking. Because I'm like, I have nothing to contribute to this conversation and don't even know what to say. It is not because I don't care. It is just because I don't want to talk or don't feel like talking. Or really, it does actually boil down to I don't know what to say and quite frankly do not care to say anything. Because I'm also in a point in where I'm recognizing myself of most of the time, if I am going to talk now, I just want someone to listen. And I do not care for the person talking back to me. Like, I'm just like, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and I'm done. Like, thank you for listening to me. I'm gonna go now. Like, that's literally all I care about at this point. And again, I don't mind, like, being around and listening to people, but at the same time, I'm just like, I have struggles doing that because I'm just now like, hi, people, listen. Like, just listening to people, and I'm just like, why am I doing this? Because I also just have a hard attention span of being like, hi, hey, how are you? And then after I ask how they are and they answer my question, I'm like, I have nothing else I want to know. Or nothing else to ask. Goodbye. Which might bring people to question of, why do I stream? I stream just to have video record that I'm accomplishing things for myself. At this point, I'm just like, I frankly do not care what other people think. If people have something to say about what I do, I'll just let them say what they want to say. But at this point, I'm like, I do not care. Literally, you can call my stuff trash. And I will not care because I'm like, cool. If you don't like the pattern, I'm not the designer. Like, I am not the designer of what you call trash. I am just restitching what has already been designed. Like, if anybody has anything negative to say, I can be like, yeah, and? Like, what else do you got? Like, you don't like the design? That's like, I'm not the designer. You don't like the color choices? Too bad, I'm going with what's called for. Like, literally the only thing the person can come after me is like, your skill at stitching sucks. And then if, like, they can just look at it, and other people can look at it too. And I'm like, really? Okay then. Like, if you don't think I'm that skillful, there are many other people I can recommend. Would you like the list? And that list would entail with nobody. Because it would be a thing of like, hi, you insult my skills? Nobody wants you in their communities. Because if you're dragging another person down because you don't like what they're doing, I'm not recommending you to anybody else. Because you're just gonna become a spiteful and hateful person in their community. And nobody deserves that in their own community. And if you think otherwise, then sorry. But no. Just no. Honestly, I should just start developing more skills, if anything, because at this point, that's really all I care about in life now, is developing skills and being like, hi, I've achieved this, and I can actually do this. I can understand this, too. That way I can just be like, hee hee. I have done things in my life, and nobody can actually take it away from me. And like, somebody could take and destroy all of my cross-stitch pieces, and I'll just stare at it, being like, are you happy now? Like, these pieces, like, I can just re-stitch them if I really feel like it. And they would turn out a bit better than when I originally did them. Know why? Because I've developed my skill at stitching for 7 years at this point. I would make things look way neater. Hopefully way neater and a bit better than what I originally did. So like, cool. You're just getting rid of the products that I've made. Hopefully that de-stressed you. And if it didn't and you're just trying to get a reaction out of me, I'm just gonna be like, cool. Stop it. Like, who the hell cares if you're happy or not? Like, if you're gonna destroy actual property just to try to get a reaction out of me and be like, hee hee ha ha, this person's gonna be so mad, I can't wait to see this. And then I just come around being like, why? Cool, but why? And you're just gonna throw a hissy fit that I'm not screaming at you? I'm just gonna be like, you're so, like, really? Like, really? You did this to get a reaction out of me. Like, if anything, I could actually get a reaction out of you. Where I could be like, hi, you destroyed my property without my permission. You know what that means? Possibly be able to go to small claims court with you. And of course, it wouldn't bring back all the pieces that I've done, but it would bring back some significant damages done that you caused for no reason. And to be honest, most of the stuff, like everything that I stitch, I'm just doing it to archive it on Instagram. Literally be like, hey, I want it, I got it. And then I snap a picture and I'm like, there we go. It's forever archived. There we go. And that's really all I care about. I somehow feel way happier saying all this now. Maybe I just needed to say all this. Just being like, hi. Like, sorry if I'm not someone that's usually around, or like, that seems open, or actually that doesn't seem like I care. But here's the reasons why, or what you think is right. Oh, snap. I am getting hungry, but it would require going somewhere. Not. We'll have this as a short stream. We'll come back later. We'll finish this up. And then maybe we'll start with K. Or if not K, we will do something else. Da, 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 da. Sure. Just order. Oh. I can't. 'Cause Fluffy. Hi, Fluffy, by the way. But, the thing that I get, they don't deliver. They don't deliver it. I get nachos. And that is the one thing that they do not deliver. So sad to say, I can't. Plus, it's also a thing of there is a smoothie shop right next to it, and if I actually go, we might be able to go get a smoothie. So I'm like, hee. But hi, Fluffy, how are you? Guess that also works. Yep. But yeah. Nachos are more of a snack. Not really. Just vibing as usual. Have you been hearing my rant? Or me just talking? Basically of being like, I'm just slowly realizing why I have a hard time being like, hard time interacting with people. Hard time just sticking around in streams and actually watching other people do things. And all these things. Where I'm just like, I've now realized a lot after, like, taking a 4-day vacation. Where I'm like, yeah, it boils down to, like, I don't like people. A lot of stuff, so been mostly working, I see. But, like, people are icky, I get it. Yeah, and it's also a thing of, like, I don't know. It's more of the thing of, like, yes, some friends have done playthroughs of games, and I'm like, I'm probably never gonna do those games that they play through, but at the same time, I'm like, but I want to experience it myself. Like, what do I do at that point? Like, do I just bite the bullet and be like, hi, I'm gonna just watch the playthrough and not experience the game myself? Or do I play the game when a few friends are like, I've done a playthrough, you can just watch it. I'm gonna just be like, no. Like, I don't know. Like, just, ugh. Here's another thing. I'm getting close to finishing it. Not finishing this, but like, this is the last color I'm gonna be doing. So we'll just do a little bit of chatting before I get the message of we're about to go. But, okay. Just chatting time. Yeah. I mean, it's more for me. I don't know. It literally, I don't know. I guess it's just a thing of like, I'm just emotionally numb. I don't think that's the right thing to say. But at the same time, I'm just like, I am so used to just being alone for most of my life that I'm just like, I quite frankly do not care about other people. Or like just interacting with other people just will cause more problems to me. Because I'll just be like, great, I'm stuck in some drama with these people. And I don't know why. Or I look at, like, for example, the news, and it's like, these people are da 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 da, and it's just like, okay, cool. Like, why? Like, why are people like this? Like, it started out with something small, and then people blow it up, and it's just dumb. Or, like, people withhold information, and it's also dumb, and it's just like, what the heck is wrong with people? Like, at this point, I'm literally... Like, I'm literally at a point where I'm just like, I am completely done with people and do not care what happens to anybody. Like, your grandma dies? Cool. I'm sorry that you have your loss, but, like, what does that have to do with me? Like, I'm literally just at that point being like, does it involve me? Does it affect me in any way? Will it make me cry? Will it actually make me feel something? If all the answers are no, why am I being told this? Like, again, I'm sorry. But, like, like, I just don't want to be inconvenienced. All I want to do at this point in my life is just accomplish things and get things done. The moment it starts becoming way too much of a hassle trying to deal with people and do what I want to do, I'm just going to be like, one of these things has to go. And it's not the things that I want to accomplish. Exactly, like, that's the issue that I have. Like, I don't mind listening to problems, because here's another thing. The moment I'm listening to someone else's problems, and they're being like, I can't believe Chad just cheated on me, and da-da-da-da-da, and I'm just sitting over here being like, I think we all saw the signs, but I'm not going to say anything. Like, it's just fun to hear the drama going on, because it's like, it has nothing to do with you. It's just literally like, you are the peanut gallery being like, hee hee, what is going on between these two people? And then the moment it suddenly becomes your problem, it's like, oh, no, I didn't sign up for this kind of concert. Like, I'm sorry, but no. It's, ugh. It's, ugh. Had told you Chad was bad news. Exact. Because here's another thing that's people are just because it's also another thing of like sometimes you do give them warnings and they don't listen to you, or the moment that they get the news they suddenly think that you had the answers all along and then you get blamed for it. And I'm just like, people are so because I'm also at this point in life too. Here's another thing. I'm also still like, but way too young in a sense to be like, yeah, this is never happening. But at this point, I'm like, if I keep having the mindset that I do, I don't want to have a partner. I don't want a boyfriend. And the main reason why is because I literally, like, I do not want to deal with someone else that is having a problem or having to share a living space with someone and then them being like having constant problems, and then that in turn forces me to have to deal with those problems too, where it's like, oh, you're in debt? I don't want to deal with this. Why did you, like, just, and it's also just another thing of just like it, like, nowadays everything just seems too complicated. That's literally what it's feeling like, and I don't want to deal with overcomplicated stuff. I just don't want to deal with complicated stuff. Because it's even a thing of like, oh yeah, finding love. It's like, for some reason that's become complicated. Want to chill out and do me. Exactly. Because it's like, here's the thing. I'm gay. I want to find a guy. I want to find somebody that is doing well for himself in the sense of physically and mentally. But with how love is nowadays, it's like the moment I try to say, oh, I'm only into guys, it's the genitalia that I'm interested in, not so much the female one, and just like wanting them to be happy and healthy. All of a sudden, a lot of people will just suddenly jump on me and be like, oh, so you're not into these people? What did this community do to you? What did these people do to you? Like, why are you so judgmental and not open-minded to these things? And I'm like, these are my preferences. Like, I'm sorry that I have opinions and that these are my quote-unquote type, but if you're gonna start cramming this stuff and making things way more complicated than it needs to be and way more controversial than it needs to be, I'm just gonna choose no one. I'm sorry. That's how it is. If you're gonna start making a fuss about it, nobody's gonna be happy. I'm sorry. I'm not choosing the choice that's gonna benefit you. I'm gonna choose the choice that's gonna make me happy. And if you are not liking how my happiness choice is, then you just need to stay out of my life and get out of my way. Like, that's really what it boils down to. If you're not happy, someone for liking one drink over another. Exactly, like, it's the thing of just, like, and it's also been something that's been stuck in my brain a lot, too. Then I was just like, no, I'm just gonna, with the preference chief, leave me be. Exactly. Like, it literally is just the thing of, like, because here's another thing, is my brain has been making up all these scenarios, being like, well, what if I was to accidentally run into a trans person? Or if I was to run into somebody with a certain sexuality? How would I have to explain that to them without making it hurt their feelings or make them feel like, oh, so you see me as this, but at the same time, you're saying you see me as this. I'm trying to, like, them being like, so you don't actually see or support my choices of this, but you are willing to go with this. And I'm like, these are my choices. This is my preference. You don't fit in it. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean I'm not supportive. It does not mean I hate you. It does not mean any of the things that you are saying. It is literally, this is what I like. I don't need to come up with an excuse or an explanation at that point. And I've just constantly been in my head being like, what if someone was to ask me about this, or da. And at this point I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna give it straight up. Just be like, it is not you, it is just what I'm into. Like, I'm sorry, but no. But yeah, I might have to go in like 15 minutes, so we'll be ending in. I don't like you like that, and you keep pestering me about it. You can get gone. Exactly! Because it's also the thing of like, one of, like, a partner that I had was thinking of being, like, they thought they were trans. And here's the flat out truth. I cannot deal with someone if they are trans. And the reasonings is because I would flat out be very afraid for their own health. For their physical health, their mental health, and all these things. And making sure that they're being seen for what they want to be seen as. And I'm like, I don't know what, like, if I was to be in a relationship, if they're going to suddenly become a ticking time bomb if I start doing the wrong things, or if they're going to be chill and be like, it's okay, like, we can work through this. Because it's literally the thing of, like, when they were talking about these things that they wanted to happen or what they don't like, the thing that I was actually getting concerned with was, like, like, hey, like, I guess it's just a thing of, like, you only have one body, and it's a thing of, like, I would have been supportive no matter what choices they made, but personally for me, I'm like, I would be absolutely terrified because, like, a lot of the surgeries they were talking about were very fatal. Or at least they were describing it as if it was fatal. It was life-threatening. And it's like, not fatal or life-threatening in the thing of, like, they need to get it in order to keep living. It's more of a thing of, like, it is fatal to be happy. Where I'm like, if it was if that's what they wanted to do, I would have been supportive and been like, okay, like, as long as you consider these things and know what you're getting into and know the consequences, I'm fine with it. I am all for it. But what I, like, personally don't want to deal with is all goes well, they get what they want and they are happy with it for a few moments to then suddenly start not being happy anymore. Where it's, that would be the issue that I would be saying, where it's like, it would take, like, I would be watching their mental state deteriorate because it's not what they wanted. It's not what they actually wanted, or they suddenly realized it's not what they wanted, but it's too late. And then it would be mentally tolling on me, because I would be like, I should have warned them more. I should have said this instead, or, like, should have told them this too, just to make them consider it even more. Or, like, I see that they're unhappy, but I can't do anything to make them happy again, because it would then become a problem of, it's nothing that I can fix. It's something that ultimately they've done to themselves and reassured me that they were going to be happy with it. Couldn't really blame yourself at that point. Yeah, but at the same time, it's just like, it would be so hard. And that's why I'm sort of like, when I'm looking at a lot of the different news stories, or, like, whenever I'm thinking, like, whenever I'm trying to think in my head, being like, how do I explain to somebody that I'm, like, if they were trans, how do I say, like, I'm not into them, kind of thing, where it's like, there's just so many things that would really go into it, and I myself recognize, A, I'm not into it, and B, no matter how long I can prepare for it, I will never be prepared for what is to come. Because it's like, it's just another thing of, the human body is different for each person, so who the heck knows how some things to become what they want will react. But yeah. Anyhow, If I remember this rant, or if I feel like continuing it, I will continue it later once I get lunch. But yeah, I will actually be ending for the day. I do apologize, it went a little controversial, but honestly, my brain's just being like, I feel way happier now stating all of this. I don't know why. Maybe I just needed to accept that I'm a grumpy old man. Like, just my personality is very much that, and being like, yeah, I don't like people. But I don't like people. Like, I'm sorry, but I have a hard time dealing with people, and I am so used to being alone that I actually realize I don't like spending time with people. That does not make me happy. I like being alone, and with streaming, I don't mind talking to people. So long as I get what I want done. That's what it boils down to. I do apologize. But, like, actually, I'm not going to apologize, because it's just, like, that's just how I grew up. And I don't think I'm ever going to change from that. Or if I was to change, it's going to take a lot of work. And honestly, I don't really see a point in working on myself in that sense, because it's like, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not doing anything wrong. It's not illegal to hate people. Like, really? Like, I'm just opinionated. And if nobody likes what I say or do, they can go find someone else. Other than that, bye-bye.